I'm your host, Jeff Shuford. Welcome to Buzz on Veterans today. We have Michael Stanski from Stanski Law here with us today. Thanks for being on the Buzz on Veterans.
I appreciate it, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And you have several different areas of law that you predominantly focus on. What are some that you can share that you see are the most beneficial for our heroes?
So you're right. I do have a diverse practice, but what I'm best known for here in town is representing military members and veterans in civilian courts. And so what that means is we as military members or former military members live by a different set of rules. And so what I do is I navigate that hero, either still in active duty or out of the uniform, and navigate them through not only the civilian legal system, but also making sure that whatever happens to them there doesn't affect any of their benefits or any of those military rules they've had to live by.
I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, a negative offense can affect a veteran or active duty service member much different. You know, when I served in the military, it was all about the 2 Ds. Divorce and DUIs. Have you seen a lot of that because of the veterans and heroes facing those issues with PTSD?
Absolutely. And what I'd say to your first point about divorce, military divorce is a lot more complicated than divorce of civilian the population. And so the trend that I've been seeing lately is those military divorces have not been accomplished with all of those unique military rules in mind. And what is happening is 20, 25 years later, that military member that thought that they were kind of free and clear with their divorce and it was all over, those cases are having to be reopened. So that is certainly a difficult issue. As far as DUIs are very prevalent in society, especially here in Jacksonville. But for a military member who's on active duty, those DUIs can have ramifications on active duty and could expose them not necessarily just to judicial judgments, but also for some type of administrative discharge or admin action. So they become very problematic.
With 1.6 million veterans in Florida, I mean, you have a lot of vets and heroes to cater to. How can a veteran or a hero, an active duty service member, find a good lawyer? Are there any tips or tactics that they can use?
Absolutely, Jeff. So what I say is I have 2 rules of 3. Okay, my first rule of 3 is if you have a legal issue, you should talk to at least 3 attorneys, depending on your financial and your time commitments that you can give. The second rule of 3 is you should be looking for 3 things from your attorney. The first one is experience. And that experience doesn't necessarily have to be in your specific legal area, but our profession, or my profession, is one where we're supposed to be constantly self-educating and learning. So you should be able to find somebody that has experience as an attorney. The second thing is you need to find somebody that you trust. This is the most important thing because you're probably going to have to tell your attorney, even for a minor issue, things that you may not want your spouse, your family to know. So you have to find somebody that you're definitely going to be able to trust and have rapport with. And then finally, you have to find somebody that has time for you. So you can have the best lawyer in town that you've hired, but if their schedule and their calendar is packed and they can't take the time to effectively represent you, then that's really not going to help you out so much. So those are my 2 rules of 3 on finding an attorney.
And when you say trust, you're absolutely right. I mean, and I want to thank you for your service, Army, HUA, right? Air Force as well, JAG, attorney, I think I'm saying that right. And I've also read in your bio a special agent.
That's right. So I spent 2.5 years as special agent for the Secret Service. I was stationed down in Miami, so it was an incredible experience. But I'm happy to be back home here in Jacksonville with my family.
Awesome. And finally, how can a hero get in touch with you and get a hold of your office?
So the best way is going to my website, www.stanskilaw.com, and there's a number of options for them to reach out either by telephone or by email.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today on the Buzz on Veterans, here with Michael Stanski, Stanski Law. Make sure you check him out and keep in mind, you can choose a lot of different attorneys, but why not choose one that knows your actual struggle and what we as veterans face on a day-to-day. So once again, thanks for tuning in to The Buzz on Veterans. I'm Jeff Shuford, your host, and I look forward to seeing you in the next segment.